Hello and welcome to the Man United Agenda. We've got some sad news. We've lost to Villa. It's going to be myself, Omundi Juma, and Pat Lawless going through the game. Hi guys, just to give you our sponsor before we go into the show, it's GMS, Global Mapping Surveys. We're now sponsored by them. They assist architects, property developers and construction companies all over the country. They offer a wide range of services, such as settled out topographical surveys, 3D laser scanning and monitoring. The link is in the description, guys. So let's get into this intro. Pat, damn.
Not what I expected. Put it that way. Not what I expected.
What did you expect?
I expected a free-flowing game of football, not bloody an avalanche on our goal. You know, they came out of traps like greyhounds, and we were just the rabbits for the first 25 minutes.
Do you ever pin like blame on the manager? Because let's look at the starting 11 here. We had De Gea in goal, Dalot, but Lindelof started. He's obviously picked him over Harry Maguire. Is there any? I mean, if Harry Maguire played in this game, I imagine the abuse would be going on right now about Harry Maguire in defence. Look, we conceded goals, we got blitzed.
True.
So can we put any blame on the defence here? Is Lindelof better than Maguire? Should he be playing ahead of him? Maybe, for example, should the manager have started him? What's he seeing in Lindelof that he doesn't? You know, that sort of thing.
I just think Victor Lindelof has earned his right to be in there at the moment, and that's why he's in there. He's the third choice centre back. He was the only reason why he didn't play the last week, because he had some sort of stomach upset. So that's the reason why he was in there. If Harry Maguire had been in there today, I don't think it would have made much of a difference.
But is it fair to say if Harry Maguire had been part of this performance that got blitzed early on, that he would get a lot of blame for it?
Yes,
I don't see any blame. I'm waiting to see if anyone blames, oh God, shocking defending, Lindelof or Martinez, for example, or the guys ahead of him. So yeah, I'm just interested about that. Just an experiment I'm putting out there.
You're already putting that out there because you're flying the flag for Team Maguire, Mr. Juma. Now, if he had been in there, yes, he would have. He would have got slated because he's the £80 million man. Look, if Martinez was an £80 million man today, would he got slated? Right? The answer is no. And the reason why I say no is because even though we were down 2 goals before 11 minutes, the man was still out there getting stuck into people, playing through balls in pure Martinez style. So Harry Maguire will eventually get his way back into that squad. But when we do go down in games like that, he's going to have to show proper resilient performances to make sure people go, Jesus, he's really trying, isn't he?
Yeah. Now, I want to go through some comments before we go through the other starting 11, the other players that started today. I want to say hi to Bill Badger. He says, yo, lads, this was an Emery masterclass. Was this an Emery masterclass, or were we just poor? I think it's a bit of both. Hi, Goodman Guns. Arsenal had a good win today at Chelsea. That was a real good test. Arsenal really flying, aren't they? Except for when they come to Old Trafford. Hi, Goodman Guns. How you doing, man? MEFC said, wouldn't play Ronaldo again. Let him leave in January. Job done. Paddy is gutted. We got Thomas. How you doing, Thomas Mitchell? Never want to hear any Bruno slander again. We're going to come on to that because he obviously didn't play today. Rashford, Van der Beek, Anonymous, says Paddy. We've got Stuart Marshall saying, down, back to earth with a resounding bump. Stuart Marshall said, I'd rather Maguire than Lindelof. Okay, here we go. Bath time. Hope you had a good holiday. He went to the Real Sociedad game, didn't he? He said, what a fast that was, lads. Welcome back, by the way, Bath time. Paddy said, Lindelof's not the quality we need. Horrendous, says Paddy. Martinez was quality, though, like you're saying, Pat. Andy Long saying, sour twat is going to have a field day with Martinez on Talk Shite. That's the Talk Sport, I imagine. That's Big G saying Maguire should have started. The whole of the right side of the team was absolutely garbo today. Paddy saying it was Van der Beek. That was an error. Thomas said said it on Thursday as well of tired performance. And Martha said Martinez should have been red carded. To be fair, going to come to Emma quickly. She said, "Why did Ronaldo get yellow for holding Mings?" I don't understand that one. Let's go through the starting 11. Finish off. So we talked about Lindros starting, and Harry Maguire obviously didn't get a game today. But Ericsson, Casemiro, and Donny van der Beek. Donny van der Beek's obviously coming for Bruno today. We've got someone said in the comments that Bruno's missing. We feel it now. We give Bruno a lot of stick, don't we? But do you think that we saw the difference today, not having Bruno in the side?
No. So look, I'm all for Bruno. I have no problem with Bruno Fernandes at the moment. I think the man's doing nothing but working his best at the moment. Donny van der Beek. Put it this way, if Bruno's getting stick coming into that position, God love Donny van der Beek coming into that position today, especially in a game that we lost in. Now, if we're talking about our midfield today, I thought Donny worked well. I thought he worked hard. I could see him roaring and shouting in the midfield, shouting out orders. Good to see. I was happy with that. I thought Marcus Rashford was nearly non-existent on that right-hand side. Maybe I just think he was kind of he's surplus to requirements when he plays on that right-hand side. He can't do what he does best with the running at them, coming in the inside and having a shot. So Garnacho, I thought he played well. I thought Garnacho, he had a few good runs, good chances. He had a good chance in the first half. Martinez saved it, came back out. Unfortunately, didn't fall to Ericsson. So
just talking about the starting 11, so the manager's obviously he picked Donny. Is there anyone else you would have picked? Because obviously Bruno is out. Talk about the starting 11. We're going to the performance in a minute. But is there anyone else you would have picked instead of Donny to play in that role, or maybe change the formation? Maybe is Donny, because Donny's going to get a lot of criticism, but he hasn't played for 700 and something days. Hasn't started a game. Last game he started was against Wolves at the end of the season, just before we played Villarreal a couple of seasons ago in the final.
I thought Donny done well for what he could do today for his performance.
But do you think the manager, what I'm saying to you about the starting 11, before the game, regardless about performance, do you think the manager is looking at Donny and saying, right, just like for like with Bruno, for example? Or what's the reason why Donny hasn't started since that game against Wolves 2 seasons ago?
Well, one is injury. But what the manager sees in Donny van der Beek coming in there over Bruno is a more disciplined footballer, where Bruno would be more of a flair player. He'd be trying all the Hollywood balls, where Donny van der Beek be coming in, trying to pick up the ball, stitching the play together, putting the ball forward, where Bruno be trying to play the Hollywood balls over the top. So when I saw Donny van der Beek starting today, I wasn't concerned in the slightest.
Okay, we're talking about the performance now, because obviously we know Ronaldo was up front. But let's start with the performance. We're going to go to sort of players, because there's a few things I want to touch on today. And what we're touching on today is Rashford on the right, why you felt he was having a bit sticky performance there, wasn't really delivering. Why can't he play on the right? He's got pace, he's got ability, that kind of thing. Also, I want to discuss about the squad depth as well. And Ronaldo, I want to talk about Ronaldo as well, because we're not scoring many goals. We're only scoring 1 goal. And once they went 2-0 up, I thought, oh my God, we have to score more than 2 goals now for the first time in a long time. So I want to talk about why we're not scoring goals, why Rashford can't play on the left, on the right. Ronaldo, his effectiveness in this team, and also about Harry Maguire a little bit at the end. So those are the topics that we'll be discussing today. Let's talk about the performance. Obviously, they started like a house on fire, didn't they? As you said, like a greyhound out the traps. Really went for it. New manager at home, buzzing. And the players really put it in, didn't they? So let's talk about the first half. And any mistakes there for the goals? You see any issues, especially with the first goal with Leon Bailey? Because Leon Bailey plays wide, but he picked up the ball or started his run central. So there was a lot of rotation there, maybe.
See, Leon Bailey has electric pace. And if he gets the other side of you may forget about it. But for the first goal, I just thought that David De Gea, he just got it past David De Gea too easy. He was very weak for the shot. And I don't want to be David De Gea bashing, because he's been playing well for the last couple of games. But when you're starting off a game like that and you get a goal that easy, you're saying to yourself, oh, Jesus, what are we in for today,
So any fault with the Man United team there for the first goal? I mean, can we remember?
David De Gea was the fault, really, Omundi.
Okay. And I must say, Leon Bailey caused us problems pre-season, didn't he, when he came on and really roughed us up. He's got so much pace and get away. It's really, you see it, how electrifying he is when you see him up against players that usually can read and get close to him. But I felt that we couldn't get close to him, especially Martinez. He couldn't, go to ground. The guy was driving with left foot. And it was a really good finish in the corner. I don't know if De Gea gets fault for that. What do you guys think in the comments? Pat saying De Gea should get fault. Maybe should have got there, but that first goal was good quality, and that we were down 1-0. Did you see us sort of show any character to get back into the game?
We tried. Like, I seen Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw played very well today, in fairness. He was trying, he was getting down that left-hand side, he was getting the ball to Garnacho, we were trying to get balls in. But in fairness, it wasn't until after Aston Villa got their second goal that we started showing a little bit of resilience, where you could see the experience from Casemiro and Eriksen kind of putting the foot on the ball and slowing the game down a little bit. So they really had us on they really had us spinning, our heads spinning for at least the first 15 minutes of that game.
I've got here, like in the 44th minute, there was a deflection following the cross. Oh, sorry, in the 10th minute. Sorry, how could I forget?
I forgot. All right. I know I want to erase the game on my memory, but we're already jumping past goals already. All right, wow. So it was Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw brought down. He brought down, I think it was Jacob Ramsey outside the box.
Yeah.
And which allowed them obviously for a free kick, and Digne stepped up. Now, when he took the free kick and I went in the back of the net, there was two things going through my mind. Was David De Gea completely in the wrong position on the goal, or was that such a good free kick that De Gea couldn't even get anywhere near it? And the more the replays I saw, I was kind of going, "Oh Jesus, I'm going to sound like I'm David De Gea bashing now on this reaction show," but he did look very poor for it. It didn't look great for it at all.
Do you want to say big up and shout out to 666? He's saying shout out from Manchester. So big up, man. Thanks for tuning in. What are your thoughts on the game? I'll hopefully see a few comments from you. Yeah, I think the free kick was brilliantly done. You'd say that the wall's supposed to cover that side and De Gea covers this side, but yeah, it's hard for a keeper, isn't it? How do you get across so quickly to sort of cover that? I think he did try his best, but you have to give sometimes credit to the free kick taker, and that was brilliantly. There was two players there with the right foot, which kind of causes a bit of confusion. But initially, I always felt it was going to go into that side of the game, that side of the goal, because you had the what's the name? Digne.
So the thing about it is, Omundi, it's okay for us to be sitting here criticizing David De Gea when the ball goes in the back of the net at 100 miles an hour or whatever speed it comes into that goal. But it just looked like he could have done a lot better. But at the end, sometimes a free kick's a good free kick.
Yeah, it was definitely a good free kick. And I mean, this is what I'm saying. I can't really fault them at the moment for that goal because it was quality. It was quality. And sometimes you have to concede that when there's a great goal or something. I don't mind that. It's like I like to pick through mistakes that are made for a goal, and I'm still struggling. The first goal, I think, was a mistake. I think we how do we end up with Martinez tracking down Bailey on the left? Bailey, how did Bailey rotate in the middle? Something needs to be done there. Where are the midfielders? You know, I need to it's obviously fresh after game. I need to look at that better. But the free kick, I've got no qualms about that. That was no issue for me. Want to go for some comments. Eddie's saying Donny's too passive, not good enough. I think I've had it with him, and I wanted to like him. The manager, our manager, Solo, saying still a process with the manager. We need to keep backing him and have faith in his decision. I think the manager's proven himself.
Can I say something about Donny van de Beek? And I don't want to be seen as I'm all Donny van de Beek, but what a game for him to be brought in for. What's the chances of us getting hopped off 2-0 in the first 11 minutes? The first time Donny van de Beek comes into a game, so like he's going to have to be in a team where we're winning games for us, our Manchester United fans, not to be so critical. So his first game into the game, and all of a sudden we get hopped off. So like just like what you were saying about Harry Maguire. If Harry Maguire had been that team selection today, he probably would have been getting picked apart as well.
Like I say, if your auntie had bollocks, should be your uncle. We just don't know, do we? I mean, you can only speculate. But I do like to.
It'd be great to be a bicycle, is it?
Yeah, there you go. The thing for me is that if Harry Maguire had played today, I'm sure the comments and a lot of people would be saying, "Harry Maguire, look at him, it's his fault for some reason."
Yeah.
Bartime saying he saw why Donny doesn't start. Ramsey was his man, and he was too far up the pitch, running into his right winger, so taking up spaces of other players. That's been something accused of him before in the past. 666 is saying, don't forget it was Ten Hag that sold Donny. So maybe he knew something. Dear. Paddy said Rashford is not the striker we need. Goals are an issue now. Yeah, we're not scoring many goals. Triple X again saying maybe Gary Neville was right. We are better without Ronaldo. If he's going to get ignored by Ronaldo for speaking the truth, which he feels is his truth, then fair, so be it, you know. And maybe Ronaldo won't watch us anymore. Not that he does. Eddie's saying squad depth is horrible. It seems like Mr. Ten Hag overplayed Eriksen, Martinez, and even Casemiro. They looked a bit jaded, he feels. They should not have scored those goals, says Paddy. I'd like to hear your breakdown. Emma's saying to Football Waffle, Eddie, that is, didn't feel that we were awful as people make out. It's like the City game, but it could have been way better, like before the end of the first half. Hi, Robbie Norman. How you doing? He said the Donny van der Beek argument has to be put to bed now. He's clearly not good enough. I want to say hi to George G. How you doing? He says, shout out from Manchester again. What? Where are these Manchester located people coming from?
We've got George G. We've got Big G. How many more G's can we have on this channel?
There's 20 in the comments, guys. Make sure you press the like button. Stuart Marshall, all the way from Essex. I told you it's London thing and an Irish thing with Pat. The manager got it wrong today, but as he said in the press conference, we didn't get to hear that. We're lacking up front 2 or 3 more windows. We get the rest of Deadwood out. That's a good comment, isn't it? It's true. The manager doesn't lie. He always seems to tell the truth. George G saying, don't forget it was Ten Hag. Oh, yeah, we said that. Sorry. I want to say hi to Carl Cavalier. He said Donny was not needed today. Who would you put in then, Carl, if Donny wasn't needed? And they said the manager got it wrong based by that. Great free kick, says Carl Cavalier from the Digne. Sorry. I want to say hi to Andy Long as well. He said, would rather see someone like Zidane unleashed in the middle than see Donny underwhelm again. Okay, I can go with that. I can go with Zidane. I really like Zidane as a player. I think that's maybe someone who could come in. Robbie Norman saying, Omundi looking very fresh face. Must have had the towel shaved this morning. No, I'll tell you later what I did anyway. Carl Cavalier said, how can I be on the panel for the upcoming games in the World Cup coverage? You just keep coming in and message us and you can be on the panel. Show your face. And yeah, you're there. No problem at all. We'd like to hear from you. Here we go. Liam Bailey was just superb. Yeah, we know he was outstanding, wasn't he? So let's just talk about more about the performance. We got a goal back just before half time. And I was like, yes, it's on. Luke Shaw in the half space. Oh, no, sorry, just outside.
Just before we get to that goal, Omundi, you want to talk about. So the difference today was about Manchester United not being clinical enough. Like, Aston Villa had 2 shots on target in the first half, and they have 2 goals. Yeah, only 2. They have so the 33rd minute, Dalot picks up. I think it was Dalot picks up the ball, plays it in the right hand side to Eriksen. To Casemiro. Casemiro puts it out to Eriksen. Eriksen puts it out to Garnacho. Garnacho crossed it in. It was kind of a cross, kind of a shot. Tests Martinez. Fair play to the young fella. At least he's trying. The ball drops out. I think it was Tyrell Mings clears before Eriksen gets a chance. The ball makes his way back out to the left. It's crossed back in. Cristiano Ronaldo, diving header. A couple of years ago, you put your mortgage on that man to put the ball in the back of the net. But there we are, 2 shots in, and not a shot, not a goal. So that was the hurtful part for Manchester United today. Was we just weren't clinical enough. There we had our 2 shots on goal, and we didn't really look like we properly tested Martinez, you know. And he's a good, strong goalkeeper as well. And then obviously we came on to the goal from Manchester United.
Okay. What do you think about the momentum? I mean, it's a great time to score the goal, isn't it? If we would have went in 2-0 down, it would have been tough, but they gave the manager some encouragement. If I was the manager going in right with 2-1 now, is you get more rounds in speech, don't you? 2-0 down, going, oh, come on, guys, this is terrible. But 2-1, say, right, we're back in the game. You know that's the speech coming. I even jumped on the watch-along to type in to say, yeah, we're on it now. This is the momentum we needed. Imagine the change room right now. You'd have leaders like Martinez that you love, Casemiro, Ronaldo, all saying, yeah, we're back. Come on, guys, we got this. We're on this. Let's, get on them. And that meant go out there and play as we did in the last 5 minutes of the first half, in the second half, and go out there and get on them. And it was like good attitude. What do you think would have said at halftime? What do you think the manager would have said? Same sort of thing?
I'd have done this if I was the manager. See them 2 white sticks that go up and meet in the middle? That's where the ball goes, lads, in there, yeah? Just put it in there. Stop hitting the goalkeeper. It's probably harder to hit the goalkeeper than it is to get in the bloody net. But it was frustrating for the clinical side. But when they went in there at half time, like Villa came out of chap so well that Man United players' heads were spinning. We got our foot down the ball. We slowed it down. We got our goal back. We couldn't have went into the second half in a better position, really, regardless of how the first half went. We couldn't have went into the second half. And I maybe thought he might have made a change coming into the second half because we had to get a goal straight away to get Villa on the back foot, but he didn't. And unfortunately,
can we talk about the goal? Because it is disappointing when you want to go out there and sort of change the game, and suddenly we're down by 2 again. The way I saw it was we were in a sort of decent structure. We had 2 centre backs, kind of like the rest defence, and the front of them was 3, obviously the inverted full backs and a midfielder. But the ball came over. What the difference for us is our 2 centre backs were being pinned by 2 strikers, or a wide man and a striker, and they had to sort of track back. And when they cut the ball back eventually, where were our rest of the players? Because Jacob Murphy timed his run perfectly and slotted it in. So what are your thoughts on that?
No, we have to ask a question here. Is that because is that a setup that Unai Emery had, knowing that Manchester United were going to be in this game on the break, we're going to be in the rest defence? Are they going in a certain shape coming at us, knowing that it's going to be SHAH on the left, Eriksen beside him with Martinez and Victor there, and then all of a sudden he's going to go, no, I want you two to move out to the left, and not because that's what happened. Because all of a sudden Villa were taking a shot on goal, and Christian Eriksen and Luke Shaw may as well be standing there holding hands because it looked like they were totally out of shape. So is that down to the 2 lads were caught napping, or is that down to a good bit of movement from the Villa players?
I think it's down to their 2 strikers being pinning our last line of attack, line of defense, which is 2 centre backs. When you do that, they had to go because they're quick. I mean, Watkins, Bailey, very quick players. You in a sprint race, you're really gonna be struggling, So because they pinned them and they were the last men, Sutton the last men, they had to track back with them. And then obviously when Ollie Watkins did cut the ball back, it was down. It's out of the centre back's hands now. It was down to the backup, which would have been Luke Shaw, Eriksen, or Casemiro, and the right back Dalot. They weren't there. They just weren't there because for whatever reason, we need to look at it in more detail. Obviously, you can watch the eye test later, but they weren't there. And Jacob Ramsey, big physical ball of a player. He came in and read the cutback and slotted it in the goal. It was really like another one. That was a very good finish, don't you think, Pat?
Yeah, it was, in fairness. So, like, in that game, right, Manchester United had 59% possession in the second half, all right? How many shots on target do you think we would have had for that 59%? And for the amount of shots that it looked like we had, how many do you think we had on target?
On target, 2.
1.
Oh, God.
Now, you can sit here, you can slate Donny van der Beek. You can sit here, you can slate anybody. But 1 shot on target. How do you expect to come back in a game like that when you've got 1 shot on target? That's like that. The writing's on the wall there, and you don't need to be a statistical genius to figure that one out.
So, as a manager, he had 65 minutes now. He's made 3 changes. He's brought off Shaw for Malacia. He brought off Elanga for Garnacho. And we've got Martial back, who came off for Donny van der Beek. So maybe there's a formation change here. Did we go to a 4-2-4 kind of thing?
I was trying to figure it out, okay? But it just, realistically, as the game went on, I was looking at it, and it just looked like Rashford came on to the left, Elanga went on the right, and Martial played as a kind of a false 9 stroke number 10, playing off Ronaldo. And they kind of alternated between the 2 of them, who was going back, dropping back, picking up the ball, and coming forward. Because it never looked like at any stage Martial was playing off Ronaldo. It looked like he just kept trying to pull the Aston Villa defence apart. But it was like by the time the substitutes were made, come the 70th minute, to me, I was sitting there watching, I was like, it feels like this game is over. It feels like we lost a chance. Aston Villa are shutting up shop now, and they're just going to play it around. And it was just too late then. No matter, What I said earlier on the show there about Marcus Rashford looked like surplus of requirements on the right hand side. He looked a different player completely on the left hand side. He's like, all right, I'm in my position now.
Why cannot a professional player, international player like Marcus Rashford, who's looking for a new contract, why can he not play on the right?
He should be able to play in goal, Omundi. They should be natural athletes. They should be able to do anything.
Guys in the comments, why cannot Rashford play on the right, or why is he not effective on the right? Can't he adapt? Isn't he a professional player? Is there an issue, or do you think he can play effectively on the right? Well, I don't know.
We all know his best attributes when he plays on the left hand side. He bombs down that wing. If he doesn't cross the ball, he turns it in the right, and he has a shot. So what's stopping him bombing down the right hand side and getting a nice crossing? But I didn't see that once today. Did they know that? Did they know that that's Marcus Rashford's best attribute, and they deliberately kept the body shape of I think it's Digne play left back. I'm not too sure now. Yeah. To keep Marcus Rashford away from hugging the byline and keeping him, pushing him in the inside so he can't get the cross in. Is that what Aston Villa did? And he neutralised Marcus Rashford, and that's why he looked surplus on that right hand side.
Quite possibly. I think look, we need to sort of have that balance and people playing there regularly enough. I don't think he plays there regularly enough to sort of be effective, but I do think he should have enough in his game to play there effectively when it's needed. Alanga is often sort of thrown onto the right hand side. I think there's too many sort of inverted forwards these days, and it's always cutting into your strong foot and coming into the crowded. You cut into a strong foot, but you're coming into a crowd of players, and then you need to be technically good. Rather, in the old days, when I say the old days, but when there was traditional wingers playing with their a right-sided winger like Kanchelskis or Beckham would play down the right and look to sort of stretch the play and take it down the right. Giggs, prime example, would sort of push and go down the left with his left foot, and that was kind of a different game back then. But obviously, if you're cutting in and you're coming into sort of traffic, you need to have technical ability to do something there, and I think it becomes a bit predictable sometimes when you're playing like that.
Well, you can only wait. You can only work with the players that you have. So I was saying to myself, well, as soon as it was around the 65th minute, as I said, and I felt the game was over, and I was saying to myself, did Eric Ten Hag get it wrong today? And I said, right, did he make too many changes? Because all of a sudden now he has Garnacho, Van de Beek, and he has Rashford on the right. Now, to me, I know Rashford has been playing and Garnacho played the last two games, but effectively it is a whole new midfield. And that's not the reason why we went down 2-0, by the way. We went down 2-0 because Aston Villa kept us on the hop. But who had Eric Ten Hag to bring off the bench, really? Who could have started the game that could have done anything different? He showed a short and he had Palestri. So he couldn't have started either one of them. We would have been weaker again.
Yeah, it's quite possible. Can we talk about Bruno quickly? So we miss Bruno, says Mr. B, but also MEFC says Bruno needed time out. His ego annoys me. So where do you stand with Bruno? I think, first of all, did we miss him? And what about his game? Will you criticise him as well up until this sort of period of time? Were you sort of on his case about his contributions and his lack of goals or lack of assists, lack of play, always looking for Hollywood pass? These are sort of things that have been thrown at him recently.
Well, before we get to that, if you think Donny van de Beek was caught out of position and not marking Ollie Watkins or Jacob, what's his name?
Ramsey. Not Murphy, Ramsey. Yeah. Go on.
If you think Donny van de Beek was caught out of position doing that, you can only imagine how Bruno would have been as well. Because as much as I like Bruno, he's not the best in the world at tracking back. But Bruno is a fantastic player. And I don't think he deserves some of the criticism he's getting at the moment. He's a hard-working, expansive player, is what he is. He's not an all-round player that's going to come back and do as much as Casemiro and spray the ball forward. He's a horse for a course, and Eric Ten Hag knows what he is. Okay,
so Eddie Football Waffle, go and check out his channel. Delightful comedy, short little sketches he does. He said Bruno doesn't suit the system too. Eric Ten Hag needs the summer window to be here already. We have too many Cowboys at the side. I don't know. Let's see, 18 in the comments. Let's press the like button, isn't that right? I want to say hi to Stuart Marshall. He's saying, wonder if Dubravka will get started in the cup on Thursday. Who we got in the cup? I don't know, guys. Let me know. George G is saying it's kind of out of date, the Invisibles and treble banter, isn't it? Anyway, we're going to wrap it up because, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed out here.
Omundi, we lasted 33 minutes with smiles on our face, and we just got hopped off by Aston Villa. What more can we give these people?
I don't know. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We're really sorry about the result, but we'll be back, obviously, tomorrow, Monday at 8:30 with Andy Tate, and he will give his take on it. But from me and Pat, we're signing out. Thanks for joining us,
guys.
and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. See you later, guys.